You are watching ESPN, the Watch ESPN app. Courtney Peixoto going up against Tracy Davis here in a special women's expo that they're having on the show court here. It's a women's semifinals match. It's part of the tournament play here in Tucson, Arizona at the Junior Benefit Tournament. But we have a little break in the action between this and the men's semifinals, trying to give the men's in the race for 8 a little extra time to rest between their quarterfinal match. And this works out to be a pretty good filler for those guys. Very bright colors here from the two women players.
1-0.
Heard the referee, 1-0. They're going to play a one-game set here to 15 and then move to a different court where they will conclude their tournament play, but these two were rivals back when Courtney Peixoto was on the Pro Tour years ago, before having a baby and family life and all that. She's trying to work her way back onto the Pro Tour, and this is a good practice match for her, practice tournament. Tracy Davis is kind of taken over where Courtney left off in the rankings.
Point. 1 serves 1. Contact. Play it over.
I think that backswing from Tracy hit Courtney right square in the mouth. Nobody wants to have that happen. Big long backswing from Tracy Davis. That's only going to make Courtney more mad.
Point.
There's a quick point. That'll make her feel a little bit better.
2 serves 1.
A referee is Mike Bonnell, but I just
Point.
hopefully started a new catchphrase. Call him referee.
3 serves 1. Short. Second serve. Tied out. One serves 3. Side out.
Nice shot right there from Courtney Peixoto from Watsonville, California.
3 serves 1.
She was already on the Pro Tour at the age of 16.
Point.
Now in her mid-20s
4
here.
serves 1.
After starting a family, she's making her way back in.
Side
and
out.
she hits that ball on the ground on the serve.
1 serves 4.
Tracy Davis, 36 years young. About
Point.
10 years or so older than Courtney, but probably the same
2
amount of
serves 4.
four-wall court time between the two.
Play it over. Two serves 4.
We're going to welcome in Marco Chavez, who is in the finals of the 40s
Cinder. Play it
division here in Tucson. This is a 15-point
2 serves 4.
expo in between the 40s semifinals and the men's semifinal match that we're going to have here in the race for 8, Marcos. And Courtney and Tracy Davis, you know, you've been around handball long enough, just as much as the average dude. You've watched
Side
both
out.
of these players play. Courtney, of course, from California, where you're from, and
4 serves
you know,
2.
Marcos, you've
Short.
watched Courtney play, and she's now making a comeback. Do you see her as being almost right there, as good as she was before?
You know, Watsonville, I saw her
Second
play her
serve.
first time in Watsonville in a tournament. after she had the kid and stuff, and the kid's now a little older, and she was playing really great. I mean, good three-wall. As she's playing with, I believe it was with Ashley. And I think they were playing like in the men's A's, and they advanced to the semifinals and finally lost. But, I mean, that's pretty tough. And then she was basically playing the left side, and she hasn't lost it really, you know.
She knows what she wants to do. Sometimes your body doesn't quite do it the way you want it to do, but you know what you want to do. That's half the battle, they say.
2 serves 5.
But I see there's some tendencies there where I say, well, she's almost as good as she was when she left.
Yeah, she seems like she hasn't missed a step at all, really.
Point.
She dives down for that. Normally you see a smile from her, but earlier Tracy took a backswing and hit her right in the face, so she's not smiling anymore. Don't know about you, but smile bye-bye after you take a full-on backswing. And that's Courtney's little son right there watching his mommy. It's a great
3 serves 5.
great picture.
It is.
You remember, you have kids too, right?
Yeah, I have a daughter, Gia.
You remember when she was that age?
Oh, yes. I'm glad she's
Side
not
out.
that age anymore.
That's why you have the gray hair.
5 serves 3.
So what's the next pro stop for them, the women's pros?
I believe it's going to be in New York
Okay.
in March. I said that wrong. It's going to be in, definitely going to be in San Francisco over Valentine's weekend.
Oh, okay.
It'll be a big event there.
6 serves 3.
That's kind of Courtney's
Yeah.
turf right there, so she's going to have a big advantage with her brother who does all the training
Side
at the
Olympic Club there.
The
Yeah.
Olympic Club, that's what
Yeah.
it's called. Right?
3 serves 6.
I knew where you were going with that.
Point.
I haven't been there since they've redone it, remodeled the whole club, so.
Oh, you'd
4
like it.
serve
It's
6.
really nice. 4 serve 6. You might be one of those invited
Point.
guys that will get invited to play in that event.
Oh, that'd be
5 serves 6.
This is a special 15-point expo here between Tracy Davis and Courtney Peixoto as we
Over.
try to afford those semifinal players, Paul Brady, Dave Fink, and then after that, Emmett Peixoto and Luis Moreno, a little extra time
5
as they
serves 6.
prepare for their matches. Those guys had to play a semis and then turn right around and go back in and play another tough,
Second serve.
a quarter first and then a semi right afterwards. And it's not easy to do this level of game, especially with the 4 that remain. All hard hitters, very aggressive players.
Yeah.
Thought that we would throw on this little special 15-pointer here. A lot of contact, no call from the referee. He probably doesn't know what an avoidable is anyway.
It's a little one-wall action there from Tracy using her body to block out.
Courtney hits the loudest ceiling ball I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, man. Just a little one-wall dump shot.
I'm glad our microphones aren't too loud there to
Timeout.
catch that. Tracy doesn't look like she's that happy here. Not sure. She didn't exit as fast as I thought she would. I don't know if you heard that when she left there.
I guess that was, when you just walk off the court.
That's a timeout, I guess. When the referee said the same thing. I guess it's a timeout when you just walk off the court like that. That was Courtney Peixoto mad at herself and then just exiting the court. Tracy Davis sitting down. Both of them, those two players really going back at it with each other here. Long rallies. We're in the booth with Marco Chavez. You're in the 40 finals. You'll be facing Nadia Alvarado, and that'll be tomorrow on ESPN. Do you think you still have the legs? You played a lot of rounds of handball. You're getting old. Nadia seems to be much more fresh. What are you going to have to do to defeat him? You did it earlier last year, but I don't think you had to play this many rounds of handball to do it.
Probably hit the ball like a wild man and scare him a little. No, but I really have to return of serves, very important, and then my offense shot. I can't be shooting in front of him. V shots out, past him, try not to hit the back wall. Things like that. This is the small things I think with Nadi that I don't try to go for too much. He's basically our Paul Brady in the 40s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Well, everyone thought you were that Paul Brady in the 40s. And then Naughty entered, and now we have 2 Paul Bradys in the 40s.
Yeah.
Could have been called a short. Referee didn't call it.
7 serve 6.
I like how Marmijo used
Point.
the replay.
Yeah. That's funny, actually, against you.
Yeah.
It was successful,
serve
too.
6.
It was short. You knew it, too, probably. But
The funny thing was he came in the court saying that you agreed to it.
well,
I didn't know if I should have believed him. So
I didn't really agree to it, to be honest. But,
Oh, no.
but it was short. I did say I saw it short live, and then he left and said I agreed to it, which I didn't. But then on the replay, which happened after he left, it did confirm that it was short.
Tied out.
But what I find more funny is that we actually had instant replay installed at the last tournament. Nobody used it, so we just decided not to do it again. And then he does it at a tournament that it's a non-replay
Serves
tournament. Kind of makes things.
So what's the official rule on that? You get 1 replay per game,
Yeah,
and if you win, if you ask for the replay and
Point.
you're successful.
you're successful,
Then you get to keep it. It's like it never happened.
Okay.
Just like football.
Mhm.
If you're not correct,
7
you
serves
get
8.
overturned, then you don't get to use it again. Bye-bye replay.
yeah.
You're not using it right. They're going to penalize you. That's where you only use
Tied
it
out.
if you are completely sure.
So we'd be using that in Houston?
Well, technically using it here too. It's just that
8 serve
we
7.
made replays available at the beginning of the season, but nobody reads the rules. So
Point.
I find it also funny that the first person to ever bring it up was Dan Armijo, who doesn't know how to even log into a computer.
9 serve 7.
But he knows what a replay means, which I find odd.
He said he didn't even read the email that Dave Fink wrote
Funny.
or sent. So.
Point.
There's a little underhand paddle there from Tracy Davis. Now 10-7 here in game number 1. It'll be the only game that you see of the women's players here
10
on this
serve
court.
7.
As they will be shuffled over. The men's semifinals, those players are warming up now as they get ready for
Side out.
their 4:30 match. And it's 4:29 here
7
Mountain
serves
Time.
10. Point.
I was a handball player in Northern California at the time, and I traveled down to Modesto, California, where I know you've played many
8
times
serves
before.
10.
And I saw this young 12, 13-year-old
Short.
girl hitting a ball on a court, and I went in because it was my court, and I started warming
Second
up
serve.
alongside her. And she said, you don't mind if I stay in here? I have 50 more back wall left-handed shots to hit
She was
today.
practicing.
And I said to myself, what am I doing with my life when there's a 12-year-old girl in here practicing with her left hand,
9
and she has
serves 10.
50 more to hit, and she said, can I stay in here while you're warming up?
Short.
And that ends up being Courtney Peixoto.
But I think that had
Second
a lot to
serve.
do influence from her parents. They're very strict on her. Nah, just playing. But, I mean, handball family. I mean, you see Emmett do the same thing. Always practicing. Always warming up before the
Point.
games. Always doing the things that they need to do to become champions.
10 serves 10. Side out.
The easiest shot that she gets off the back wall, and she misses. A little frustrated there.
Yeah,
But she
that's-
did catch up,
10
though.
serves 10.
She tied it. She has a big advantage, Courtney, here with that left. I mean, she's really almost error-free there. Let's see if she makes this one. Here.
You see a lot of these party balls being hit.
She tried to
Side
do
out.
that.
Tracy went to that paddle again.
Yeah. Short hop kill that they do in one
Time
wall.
out.
And there's a
Timbo does that a lot.
1-minute timeout being called on the floor here. It's Tracy Davis versus Courtney Peixoto in a little special exhibition match that we're giving to you here. And we appreciate the fact that you've tuned into this live broadcast on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Certainly been a great day of handball here in Tucson, Arizona. We have more of it coming up. Marco Chavez in the booth here. Marcos, you're going to be on live on ESPN tomorrow. So I know you're going to prepare for that and get all of your friends and family to tune in so they can watch.
You had some players from Valencia and Fullerton. We call it the V crew, which is the Valencia crew. They were watching my match and they said hello and great job, and I really appreciate that they do watch us on ESPN.
Well, that's always nice to get, and also your sponsor watching back in Iowa.
Yeah, Tom Kopp called me and he couldn't log in. He gives me a call. And, I kind of helped him through it, and next thing you know, now he's on. I called back. He's logged on now, so.
That's good. So
big
hello to
thing.
Tom and
Yeah.
Owen Gloves at owengloves.com.
Looks good.
The men's semifinals at 4:30 going to be up here soon. Had one of those 4:30 players just make a guess who it is. Upset that they're not being able to walk into the court at 3 minutes after their start time.
Thank you.
I might even think it's Emmett.
Dave Fink and John and Paul Brady are playing each other. Make a guess
Oh,
now.
no. Oh, yeah. Okay.
10 serves 10.
Yeah, I said, well, it's just 1 minute after your start time.
I haven't been able to see Paul Brady play today or this whole weekend, so I'm looking forward to watching him play.
There's a side out here. Well, it's the same Paul Brady.
Yeah, he always has something new.
It's unbelievable.
10 serves 10.
And we're going to watch Paul Brady coming up next.
Point.
There's a point here at 11-10 here in game number 1.
11 serves 10. Point.
Nice shot.
Had a little bit of power on it, hit a crack, and then Courtney got pretzeled. And I hate that as a player too, when you go over and then you have to stop and it's like your body parts don't work that way. You end up getting bruises on a shot like that.
So Tracy started playing one wall, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then just recently I've been seeing her a lot more often playing, let's say, 4
10
wall.
serves 12.
So how long has she been
It's been
now
about
playing?
4 years of kind of exclusive, in a way, 4 wall for her. Late in her career, starting about 31, 32, starting to play 4 wall. And for those that don't play handball, she started off playing with just 1 wall, just the front wall, that's it. And then then she started dabbling in 3 wall and won a national championship there, and then she went to 4, and that's now her new thing. So she certainly has a legacy.
12.
So has she won a 4 wall national title?
She hasn't won the title in singles, no.
Okay.
She's won a women's classic, which is like kind of the equivalent of winning a U.S. Open for women. And that's a pretty big major there, and I would be happy with that title, to be honest. And she also has won probably more pro stops than any other woman on the WPH tour.
So she was from New York. Now she's from
now she lives here, yeah.
in Tucson, huh?
Yep.
I'm sure David Fink's going to be really happy about this rally.
No, I don't think so.
Point.
I don't know if Dave Fink's ever been waiting for another match to end on a court that he was on before. I don't know if that's ever happened.
12 serves 12.
Oh, someone just passed me a slip. It said it happens on every match
Oh, no.
at a handball tournament. I just didn't know.
I was wondering what they were passing you.
I was hoping it was money, but
12 serves 12.
oh,
Point.
that looked like a hurt.
Yeah, it was.
Now 13-12, Tracy Davis up, and Courtney just slammed into that left wall there. Courtney had a 4 o'clock match today. She was texted at 3 o'clock. Hey, you're going to be on ESPN with this little expo for about 15, 20 minutes. as we fill for time here before the men, trying to give the men more rest time between their quarter and semis. Yeah, I'll be there. And then she'd not be there. She was AWOL. Now at 13-12.
She probably couldn't believe you. She didn't believe you guys. You're gonna put it on the ESPN.
I said, well, you play you're in a tournament. You play at 4 o'clock anyway. I mean, you're supposed to be here anyway. It wouldn't really matter which court. I'm just letting you know that don't let somebody put you on a back court. You will be here on the show court.
Yeah, Charlie Wicker's pretty tough, and Tom. Yeah, they've been running that tournament pretty good now today. Thanks for their help too.
Oh, they're doing tremendous work. We call it God's work.
All right. Time in. 13 serves 12. Point.
Oh, that's pretty easy. She hasn't really made too many errors.
14 serves 12. Yeah, that slid. Yeah. Replay.
Tracy has a really good serve.
14 serves
Yeah,
12.
really
it's
noticed,
really
yeah.
unreal.
I mean, power. She puts power. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's a setup, that one, but
The one down the right is amazing. One of the hardest people to play in like league night down here at the club when Tracy's on the other team, because she'll hit some serves to your opponent or even to you sometimes, and she takes game number 1. They will be moving to a different court, and we are going to now make way for the men's semifinals. I want you to stick close for that. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so here in Tucson, Arizona for the men's semifinals on this show court between David Fink and Paul Brady. We'll be back in just a bit. Stick around, more action. This time it'll be for reals on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app.